Hello and welcome to Shannon Gardens. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So in this week's video, I'm headed to my local Lowe's to check out their current inventory and want to bring you guys along with me. Now with some of those plants that I'm highlighting in today's video, I'll make sure to include some additional information about them as well. I'm so excited. I can't wait to have a look at these plants and bring you guys along with me. So with that, let's get to it. When I first arrived at Lowe's, one of the first things that I noticed were all the vegetables that they had out. They had things like cauliflower, broccoli, cucumbers, a lot of different varieties of tomatoes and peppers, and they were all generally priced between $4.98 and $5.98 each. They have an olive plant that grows to 8 to 10 feet high and wide and is recommended for full sun and is priced at $13.98. They have blackberry bushes marked at $12.98. These are recommended for full sun and grow 4 to 6 feet high and wide. Then there's fig bushes that grow 4 to 8 feet high and wide and are priced at $12.98. And the Heritage Everbearing Raspberry priced at $20.98, which is noted to grow 4 to 6 feet high and 3 to 4 feet wide. These are actually already a pretty good size and supported by a trellis in their container. Then we have the Brightwell blueberry bushes for $32.98 that are noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 3 and grow to an average mature size of 8 feet high and 5 feet wide. They have pre-planted hanging baskets of trailing petunias for $16.98. This full sun annual blooms spring, summer, and fall and attracts hummingbirds, butterflies, bees, and other beneficial insects. They have beautiful, quite large hibiscus glam shrubs that have multicolored blooms and are priced at $39.98. Now, I really like this plant for the beautiful, varied colors offered in one shrub, which I thought was amazing. Hibiscus attract pollinators like butterflies, hummingbirds, and bees. They have beautiful mandevilla vines that are marked at $36.98. These vines bloom spring, summer, and fall and attract hummingbirds, butterflies, and bees. There's the 1 gallon size of Tropic Escape Patio Hibiscus for $17.98. That's recommended for full sun and grows to a height of 4 to 6 feet tall. There's pre-planted geraniums in hanging baskets for $16.98. These full sun annuals bloom spring to frost and come in orange, white, and red at the Lowe's that I was at. I actually did a video last week showing the Regal variety of geraniums, which are really pretty as well, and I'll link that video at the end of this video if you care to check that one out. There's an 8-pack of snapdragons for $13.98. Now, I love these beautiful annuals and actually have a video about snapdragons that I'll link in the description if you care to learn more about this unique flower. In addition to the hanging baskets of geraniums, they also have pre-planted pots of geraniums for $16.98, as well as these beautiful potted Gerber daisies for $16.98. There's pre-planted sun patience for $24.98 in pink and red. These grow to approximately 18 to 34 inches high and 15 to 24 inches wide. I had these planted in containers last year and found them very easy to care for while continuously blooming throughout the summer. Bloody Mary calla lily is a part sun annual, preferring 3 to 6 hours of morning sun. This is a summer blooming plant that grows to 12 to 18 inches high and wide. Snow Surfer Candy Tuft is a full sun perennial that has delicate white flowers blooming spring to summer in a mounded form. This plant acts more like a ground cover, growing to 4 to 6 inches high and 12 to 24 inches wide. There's the beautiful Endurascape Magenta Verbena, which is a full sun perennial. I absolutely love verbena, particularly because of its long bloom time of spring to fall. This variety grows 8 to 12 inches high and 18 to 24 inches wide. The Highlander Red Saxifrage is a part sun, early flowering perennial that's noted as deer resistant, which is a great plus. These are noted to bloom in spring and grow to 4 to 8 inches high and 6 to 12 inches wide. There's Lemon Coral Sedum, which is a lovely chartreuse color with a surprisingly softer texture than it looks. I've planted sedum myself for years and absolutely love adding this to containers. Next, we have heuchera or coral bells, which are great perennials that come in a variety of colors and sun requirements. I've actually added a heuchera to my container over the last winter and have found it very easy to care for, and it's just starting blooming as well. Paint the Town Magenta is a full to part sun perennial that blooms early summer, reblooming in fall. This perennial has great green-blue foliage. They had a few different types of perennial dianthus, also including this really lovely fruit punch cranberry cocktail dianthus with carnation-like flowers. Dianthus are easy to care for and attract bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. They have a 4-pack of marigolds for $4.98 in yellow and orange. Now, these annuals are very low maintenance and great companion plants for help to deter some garden insect pests, and is a big reason why I plant them with my summer vegetable garden. There's one pint petunias for $1.98. These full sun annuals grow to 10 to 15 inches high and 10 to 12 inches wide and come in this pretty pink color and then in the really dark purple color, which I really like. This red salvia is an annual salvia priced at $1.98. These are long bloomers, blooming spring to fall, and attract hummingbirds and butterflies. I particularly like to use these in containers for long-lasting summer color. There's Leonardo Compact Leopard's Bane, which is a part sun perennial for $7.98. This perennial is non-hardy in zones 1 through 3 and grows to a height of 12 inches tall and 10 inches wide. Blue Moon Phlox is another part sun perennial that grows in a mounding habit and blooms in spring. This is a ground cover growing to 12 inches tall and 18 inches wide and attracts early season hummingbirds and butterflies. I ran across another dianthus called the Oscar Dark Red Dianthus, which is noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 5. Now, this variety is noted for full sun and blooms spring through fall with these pretty red carnation-like flowers. They have homestead verbena, which I've planted in my perennial garden and absolutely love. It's a full sun perennial, although I do have it protected a bit from the late afternoon summer sun in my garden. It grows to 12 to 18 inches high and 24 to 36 inches wide in a trailing habit and attracts bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. The Golden Glow Wallflower is a full sun perennial with upright growth. This blooms spring through fall and is noted for a hardiness zone 6 through 10. We have Fort Hill Creeping Phlox, which is a perennial that grows in a trailing habit and is noted as non-hardy in zone 1. And then there's the Emerald Blue Creeping Phlox, which is noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 2. Creeping phlox is a spring blooming plant that attracts pollinators like butterflies and hummingbirds. There's compact Japanese holly for $19.98, which grows to 6 feet high and wide and is noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 5. Next is emerald green arborvitae for $29.98. That's noted for full sun and grows to 15 feet high and 4 feet wide, so this is more of a narrow growing tree. It's noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 2 and has this pretty bright green foliage. It's also noted to rarely have problems with pest or disease. There's the Leland cypress, which is a much larger, faster growing screening tree, growing to an average mature size of 50 feet high and 15 feet wide, and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 5. Now just look at this beautiful dahlia. This is the Hypnotica Icarus dahlia, which is a full sun annual that blooms spring through fall. It grows to 12 to 18 inches tall and wide and is noted as great for cut flowers. I think this is absolutely beautiful and would be lovely in containers or in the ground. The Amore Queen of Hearts petunia is a beautiful striped petunia that is noted as a heavy bloomer from spring to fall and is heat tolerant. This is a full sun annual and is priced at $8.48. There's the Laser Synchro Pink Cyclamen, which is a part sun annual for $6.48. I personally have cyclamen outside currently, and it's just stopping blooming or right at the end of it, and I'm in 7B8A in Georgia. But I've also definitely seen these kept as indoor plants as well. This has pretty variegated heart-shaped leaves, and in addition to the pink color, they also have red as well. There's the Sonetti Pericalis, which is noted as a winter and spring blooming annual for $14.98. These grow to 12 to 24 inches high and wide and come in these striking purple and white and pink and white flowers. There's the Tuscan blue rosemary, which is a personal favorite of mine. This variety can grow pretty large, growing to 4 feet high and 3 feet wide, and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 7. Not only is the size of the plant itself lovely and provides a lot of rosemary, but it also has small blue flowers which just add to the pretty plant. Now, they also have perennials on sale at 3 for $12, and I have to admit that I was surprised by the condition of some of the plants and the type of plants on sale. For example, they have Cooper's ice plant, which looked really healthy, and then Shasta daisies, which is another perennial that looked really nice and healthy as well. So I would encourage you guys to check out the sale rack because I honestly was surprised by the variety and health of the plants here. They have one pint annual dianthus for $1.98 and a couple of different color options. These plants attract pollinators, including butterflies, hummingbirds, and bees. Now, I thought this next plant would make a really pretty gift, and that's the pre-planted hydrangea. I love this container that it comes in and just thought the overall presentation was so pretty. This is priced at $17.98. In addition to the annual dianthus I mentioned above, they also have 8 packs of annual dianthus for $13.98. These bloom spring to fall and again are lovely for their ease of care and attracting pollinators. Now they also have 8 packs of coleus for $13.98. I love the color combinations of the burgundy and green and thought that that would be great paired together. One thing I'll mention is that I planted coleus in a container a couple of years ago and it did very well but definitely outgrew the pot, so just make sure to allow for space with this plant. Golden moneywort or creeping jenny is a favorite plant of mine to include in hanging baskets and containers. It's so easy to maintain and adds that bright chartreuse color that I absolutely love. They have their ready to refill containers where they've coordinated plants for you and you just need to plant them in your own decorative container. I thought these looked really nicely put together with the hibiscus and then the mandevilla tying in the red colors in the containers. And then they had a larger ready to plant container ranging anywhere from $16.98 to $21.98 that I thought looked really well put together and pretty as well. They have the psychedelic sky butterfly bush for $24.98. Now, I really love my butterfly bushes and we'll put a link at the end of this video showing my top choices for attracting butterflies if you'd like to check that one out as well. This butterfly bush is marked for full sun and grows to 4 to 6 feet high and 4 to 5 feet wide with these beautiful dark purple flowers. Next is hen and chicks for $3.48. This is a perennial succulent that I love planting in containers. The great thing about this plant is that you can separate the chicks or offset plants from the parent plant or hen to help expand your collection into additional plants. There's the Bellissima Rose Bicolor English Daisy for $5.48. This is a perennial that grows in a mounding habit to 6 to 10 inches high and 5 to 8 inches wide and is recommended for part sun. There's the Foldigletzedum, which is a full sun ground cover that's noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 3. This grows to an average mature size of 6 inches tall and 24 inches wide and has this great burgundy green color. They also have lemon ball sedum for $7.98 that grows a little shorter at 4 inches in height and 18 to 24 inches wide. This is non-hardy in zones 1 through 2 and is noted as a trailing perennial. Our next flower is so unique looking to me, and that's the Early Bird Series Columbine. This upright perennial is a late spring, early summer bloomer that attracts bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds while detracting rabbits and deer. There's white African iris that isn't blooming yet, but I did want to share it with you guys. This is an upright perennial marked at $18.98. It's a long blooming iris, blooming spring to fall, grows to 3 feet high and 4 feet wide, and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 6. They have the pretty pygmy date palms for $22.98 that look so lovely with the sun shining on the leaves. These can be grown indoors or out in warmer areas. They also have the Majesty Palm for $62.98. These grow to 15 to 20 feet high and 10 feet wide and are noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 8. There's the podocarpus, which can be used as a screen hedge. This plant prefers full sun, growing to 20 feet high and 10 feet wide, and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 7. They have lots of bare root roses ranging anywhere from 998 to 1998 in several different varieties and colors. There's the pink mist pincushion flower, which is a lovely perennial growing in a mounding habit. This perennial blooms summer and fall and grows to 15 inches high and wide. It's noted as non-hardy in zones 1 and 2. Now, I didn't see the pink mist blooming, but they did have the butterfly blue pincushion flower growing to the same height and width, and it was blooming, and this one's noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 3. These flowers attract bees and butterflies, particularly swallowtail butterflies. There's New Dimension Rose Salvia, which blooms summer and fall and has a beautiful pink color, and I think would mix really nicely with some of the purple salvia that I'm about to show you guys in just a moment, particularly if you're looking to attract hummingbirds. This is non-hardy in zones 1 through 4 and grows 8 to 12 inches high and 12 to 18 inches wide. Sensation Compact Deep Blue Salvia is a mounding perennial that grows to 12 to 16 inches high and wide. I absolutely love adding salvia to my garden, particularly to attract hummingbirds. These are long blooming as well as heat and humidity tolerant. There's Early Bird Sherbert Dianthus, which is a full sun perennial that has fragrant flowers from spring to fall. This perennial grows 4 to 6 inches high and wide and is hardy down to -10 to -20 degrees Fahrenheit. We have another salvia that's the Spring King Mini Salvia, and as its name suggests, is a smaller growing perennial salvia growing to 10 to 12 inches high and wide, noting spring and summer violet-blue flowers against its bright green foliage. Look at this beautiful purple spirit calla lily. This is a part sun perennial that blooms in summer and grows 12 to 18 inches high and wide with hardiness down to 30 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's a plant that's just lovely, and it's the Paparazzi Angelina Lavender Phlox. This is known as a profuse bloomer in the spring with fragrant flowers that attract butterflies. This phlox is a lower growing phlox at 8 to 10 inches high and 12 to 18 inches wide in zones 6 through 10. Now, if you like topiaries, then I think these looked really nice. They're the Monterey Bay 3-ball topiary Eugenia for $49.98. They grow to 12 feet high and wide and are non-hardy in zones 1 through 8. It looks like their new growth comes in this pretty reddish color like you see here on top. There's the Better Boxwood Renaissance for $12.98. Now, I've seen this brand the last couple of years, and it's noted as disease-resistant foundation plant for USDA zones 5 through 9. They grow to 1 to 2 feet high and wide. I was so happy to see our next plant in bloom, which is the Cunningham's White Rhododendron. This is a part sun spring blooming evergreen shrub, hardy in USDA zones 5 through 8, and it reaches 4 feet tall and wide. Just look at the lovely white flower and equally as pretty and delicate looking pink bud that I thought was just beautiful. Now, some of the prettiest azaleas to me are the spring blooming varieties. While they don't rebloom like the encore varieties you find in the nursery centers, their flowers can be so striking, and this Cannon's double azalea is no exception. This is a full to partial sun shrub with spring blooms hardy to USDA zones 5 through 9. While this isn't blooming yet, the pictured flowers just look stunning. There's the delightfully fragrant August Beauty Gardenia for full to partial sun. Gardenias are absolutely one of my favorite scents in the garden along with jasmine. This shrub will bloom spring through fall and is hardy to USDA zones 8 through 11, growing to 5 feet tall and 3 feet wide. Next, we have the Ascot Rainbow Euphorbia, which is a full sun perennial marked at $13.48. This is noted as a low-maintenance plant that has these lovely and unique blooms in spring and grows 18 to 24 inches high and wide. There's the Ice and Roses Red Linton Rose, which is a part sun perennial for $19.98. This deer-resistant plant is a winter to spring bloomer growing to 19 to 24 inches high and 24 inches wide and is such a great addition to a winter garden when there's very little blooming. Sunsparkler firecracker is a full sun perennial sedum that blooms summer and fall and is a low grower at 6 to 8 inches high and 16 to 18 inches wide. Staying in the sedum family, there's the lime zinger sedum, which is a full sun perennial for 1348. This is a drought-tolerant, deer-resistant plant that grows to 4 to 6 inches high and 18 inches wide. There's also the tricolor sedum, which I really like with the coloration of green, cream, and pink. It has pinkish purple flowers in summer and grows to 4 inches high and 18 inches wide. If you're looking for more of a shade hanging basket, then they have impatiens pre-planted for $12.98, and these attract bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. They have creeping wire vine for $3.48, which is a part sun ground cover. I actually really like the look of this with the dark stems and the green leaves, and found that it's also adaptable as a houseplant. They also have Baltic English ivy, which is another part sun vine for $3.48. Next is the silvery sunproof liriope, and that's noted as a part sun ground cover growing to 15 inches tall and wide with nice variegated leaves. Next ornamental grass is blue select fescue, which is noted for part sun and non-hardy in zones 1 through 3. And then there's also blue arrows rush, which is another part sun ornamental grass that's non-hardy in zones 1 through 2. Tortuga is an evergreen juniper recommended for sun. This is a drought-tolerant evergreen that grows to 2 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide and needs little pruning, which is an added bonus. Jubilation gardenia is a full sun to part shade shrub with lovely fragrant flowers that bloom heavily in spring and then will rebloom through summer and fall. This is hardy to zones 7 through 10. They also have the diamond spire gardenia, which is a bit smaller growing at 3 to 4 feet high and 2 feet wide. This gardenia has fragrant blooms spring through fall and grows in a more upright pattern. There are hanging baskets of Boston ferns for $16.98. These are generally best in bright indirect light, as too little light can result in sparse fronds and too much light can burn the fronds. Gold dust aucuba is noted as a shade plant, which I think would be a great addition to a shadier garden and really help the golden specks stand out. This is a slow maturing plant that grows to a height of 8 feet and a width of 4 feet. Next is the Clem's hardy gardenia, which is another even smaller gardenia that grows to 36 inches high and 24 inches wide and prefers part sun. There's the spreading yew, which is noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 5, is deer resistant and grows to an average mature size of 8 to 10 feet high and 10 feet wide. The new growth comes in this bright green color, changing to darker green as you see here. The autumn lily is from the Encore Azalea collection, blooming spring, summer, and fall. This is a dwarf variety growing to 2.5 feet high and 3 feet wide in USDA zones 7 through 10. They also have the autumn ivory variety with the same growth, the autumn embers, which grows slightly larger at 3 feet high and 3.5 feet wide with red-orange semi-double blooms, and then the autumn royalty, which has purple blooms, grows 4.5 feet high to 4 feet wide in USDA zones 6 through 10. Now, probably my favorite from Encore that I saw is this Autumn Starburst, which is a newer bicolor variety with coral, pink, and white blooms. I came across several varieties of trees, including the Yoshino flowering cherry trees, Cherokee Princess dogwood trees with these gorgeous blooms, white dogwoods with the cute smaller blooms, Eastern redbuds, which is a personal favorite of mine. They also have the Oakame flowering cherry trees, the bonfire patio peach tree with the striking foliage, a green weeping willow shade tree, and then fruiting trees like the Santa Rosa plum and peach trees. This next tree is a smaller tree or shrub growing to 8 feet high and wide, and it's the Magnolia Jane. This one is just so pretty with the pinkish purple blooms outside and then white coloration inside, and it's marked for hardiness zones 5 through 9. There's the Kusa dogwood tree, which grows to 20 feet high and wide and blooms in spring with these pretty pink colored flowers. Next is the Reeve spirea, which is a spring flowering shrub growing to 6 feet high and wide and is noted as non-hardy in zones 1 through 5. This is noted as very low maintenance, drought resistant, and deer resistant. The Formosa azalea is a part-sun shrub blooming in spring with these beautifully bright pink flowers. This azalea grows to 8 feet high and 6 feet wide. The George Lindley Tabor azalea is another spring blooming azalea that's marked at 1998 and grows to an average size of 10 feet high and 8 feet wide. This azalea has a lovely lighter pink flower that I thought was absolutely gorgeous. These spring-only blooming azaleas remind me a bit of a more older-fashioned azaleas that I remember seeing planted underneath trees from my childhood and are just covered with flowers in the spring. We have the purple daydream loropetalum, which is a dwarf-sized variety growing to 2 to 3 feet high and 3 to 4 feet wide. I have a video that I made about loropetalum that I'll link in the description if you'd like to learn more about these wonderful and unique shrubs. There's the olive martini shrub, which is marked at $24.98. This is a full sun shrub that grows 10 to 15 feet high and wide with vibrant golden edge foliage and silvery new growth. This shrub is hardy to zones 6 through 9. There's the sunshine ligustrum and its strikingly bright golden foliage. This shrub is marked for full sun to part sun and grows to 3 to 6 feet high and 3 to 4 feet wide and would look really nice with a darker backdrop in my opinion so that golden color could really stand out. The shining sensation waigala is a full sun shrub growing to 5 to 6 feet high and 4 to 5 feet wide. It has pink flowers in May and June with sporadic blooming after through the summer. This shrub attracts butterflies and hummingbirds and is hardy to zones 5 through 8. The Highlights arborvitae is a full to part sun evergreen tree that's hardy in USDA zones 5 through 8. This grows anywhere from 8 to 20 feet high and 4 feet wide with this wonderful golden foliage that actually starts as yellow and then develops to gold in the sun and heat. Here I just wanted to give an example of how nicely the burgundy from the waigala pairs with the Highlights arborvitae, just to give an idea of how to play the dark and light colorations against each other and really bring out that lovely coloration in each plant. There's the cast in bronze distilleum for $24.98 with its beautiful bronze maroon new growth that matures to dark green. This shrub is hardy to zones 7 through 9 and grows 3 to 4 feet high and wide. In keeping with the bronze color, they have the Bronze Beauty Clara, which also has beautiful bronze new growth and grows larger at 8 to 10 feet high and 5 to 6 feet wide. There's Paul's Gold Chamaecyparis, which is a full sun to part shade, golden evergreen shrub that reaches 5 feet high and 6 feet wide. This shrub is hardy to zones 5 through 8. Here again, you can see the deep burgundy of the loropetalum playing off Paul's Gold, and it's just a wonderful combination that you can incorporate with your plants, both in ground or in containers in different plant colorations and combinations. The Florida Sunshine Elysium is a shrub that I've had in my garden for years and absolutely love. I have a video on this shrub that I'll include in the description if you'd like to learn more about adding this one to your garden. Now, I had no idea that Dolly Parton had her own rose, but I did find it here. This is a red hybrid tea rose that's absolutely gorgeous, and they already had it set up growing on a trellis. There's the oak leaf red holly for full to partial sun in zones 6 through 9. This has foliage that resembles oak leaves that start as bronze to burgundy before maturing to emerald green. There's Tiki pieris, which is in full bloom with its dainty bell-like flowers. This part-sun evergreen shrub grows to 3 to 4 feet tall and wide and blooms late winter to early spring. Another scent that I absolutely love in the garden is star jasmine. This vine blooms spring into summer and grows 18 to 20 feet tall, so it definitely needs a trellis or something bigger to grow on. It's noted for USDA zones 8 through 11. They have drift roses, which I also have in my garden and love for their ease of maintenance and continuous blooming over the summer. The varieties here are the apricot drift as well as the red drift. I have both and find them delightful to have in the garden. This is the seafoam rose, which I don't think I've seen before. It has white flowers from spring to frost and is noted as virtually maintenance free, which makes it a tempting shrub for me to add to my garden. This shrub grows to 1.5 feet high and 5 feet wide. They do have knockout roses, including the sunny knockout rose that has flowers that start as yellow before fading to cream. This shrub blooms spring to frost and has a citrusy scent. There's the Peak Performance Rose, which is marked to bloom spring and summer with vibrant red flowers. This grows 3 to 4 feet high and wide and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 4. Here's the very unique red shrimp plant, which I always find myself drawn to. This is a part-sun shrub that grows 2 to 4 feet high and 2 feet wide and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 8. Just one look at this flower, and I think you can see just how unique they are and really interesting to look at. There's the oak leaf hydrangea for 1998 that has wonderful white to blush pink flowers. This plant grows to 6 feet high and wide and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 4, and they are marked at 1998. There's the Merritt's pink hydrangea, which is a part-sun hydrangea growing to 6 feet high and 5 feet wide and is priced at $26.98. And finally, we have the Bloodgood Japanese maple, which I have in my garden as well, and have really enjoyed having it for years. It's been a low maintenance tree for me, and I've found it easier to care for than some of the other Japanese maple varieties. This tree grows to 15 feet high and 20 feet wide and is non-hardy in zones 1 through 4. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I always enjoy going to my local nurseries and checking out the inventory and getting planting inspiration, and definitely for spring planting that's already begun. I've already started some of my containers, which you guys may have seen in last week's video, which I'm linking to the end of this week's video as well. So y'all make sure to check that out. Also, please make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. I've got a lot of fun things coming up, so y'all make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much again. I hope you have a wonderful week, and until next time, happy gardening and goodbye.